In this video, I interview Ben Smith. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Let's get into the content. Yo. What's up, guys? What's going on? We have Ben Smith right here. What's up, Ben? What's going on, man?
What's up? Not much. RJ, thanks for having me on the channel. I've been looking up to you pretty much since I started in the whole print-on-demand world. So it's kind of cool and a little surreal to kind of get this opportunity to come on the channel, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. I have had a few people say that to me, so I don't know how to react to that. So I just want to tell you thank you very much. thank you very much, man.
Yeah, of course.
For taking the time out of your day to come on this and actually share some knowledge and give some value to the people, man. To the people, to the audience, to the people, to the human beings on the other side of this video watching it. So
yeah, really don't build me up too much. I haven't provided any value yet, but hopefully I can answer some questions here.
Yeah. No, so that's kind of like let's get into the story, man. How'd you get started with print on demand?
Yeah, so I'll rewind a little bit, but I guess a little backstory. So when I graduated college, I didn't really, in college, I did the whole thing, like read the 4-hour work week and whatnot. That kind of got my mind thinking like maybe there's alternatives to the whole 9-to-5 thing. And I think that's pretty common, with a lot of people that, get their start online or whatever it may be. And then after college, I didn't really have like a defined job or anything. So I did door-to-door sales for 2 years. And yeah, like literally traveling to different, markets. So I lived in St. Louis. I lived in Pittsburgh. I lived down by you in San Diego for a bit. And I learned a lot doing sales, but my mind kept going back to this like idea that this is so inefficient. And I wanted to kind of get into the world of e-commerce, something where I could see, that it's much more scalable. And then, so after I left that job, I got a job with a guy who is big on Amazon doing like wholesale stuff. I think he had like one of the top 5,000 largest wholesale accounts. So this was maybe in 2016-ish. Yeah. And I'd started to kind of learn about like, all these different models that were going on. And he actually got access to a Merch by Amazon account. And so he mentioned something about it. And that's kind of how I filed it away like in my mind, but I didn't really start for another 2 years. So, long story short, I launched an eBay business and then a private label business. And then the problem that I faced, and probably pretty common, one of the draws to print on demand, is I didn't have a lot of money. So I wanted to launch more private label products on Amazon, but I didn't have cash like up front. I was, paying student loans and all that stuff. And so I had to find something that was a little bit more flexible and worked with my income. And that's where I came back around to print on demand. So I got approved for my Merch by Amazon account, I think like the end of 2017. And then I started, just making my own designs, like uploading a little bit. And it took me like maybe 6 months before I actually started taking it serious. So that's kind of how I got into it. But, then from there I did, that's actually how I ended up doing YouTube too, is I said for the next 30 days, I'm going to commit to doing Merch by Amazon and see what I can do. And so I started putting out a video a day, like just kind of breaking down like what I was learning and, whether it was like how to do research, how to do uploads, how to find a designer. And that's really where my Merch by Amazon account started kind of growing. And I actually got excited about the business model. Yeah, so it took me a while, but I came around eventually.
So it's crazy because it's like you use the YouTube to kind of hold you accountable, kind of like document your journey, put your content out there. But at the same time, you're helping people. And I think that's really cool, right? But it turns into something else more than that. Sometimes when you're creating the content and you're doing stuff and you're like, wow, you can see the potential. It starts opening up your eyes more, right? And the world gets bigger. You're like, dude, there's so much opportunity out here.
Dude, seriously, because that was for me. I started YouTube never about the money, for example. Like I started YouTube literally what you said, to hold myself accountable. And then I wanted to like meet other people that were doing stuff with print on demand. And that, so it was never about the money. It was literally just to learn more. And again, like keep myself accountable. And that's kind of like how I started to actually build my print on demand business. And then YouTube's just been a fun like side thing really until recently, like just again, putting out content like, hey, this is what I'm trying out. And I never claim that I know exactly, what I'm doing all the time but that's how you and I connected. Right. And that's how I've connected with like a lot of other people in the print on demand space. And you guys take time to answer my questions and whatnot. And that's really what's kind of put me, on this track where I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, no, because at the end of the day, it's just like, and I'm pretty sure like the way you explained it right there, it's about like trial and error, right? Testing. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? You're documenting it, right? You talk about it sometimes, like sometimes on our YouTube channel, we'll say something, but then like it's like there's like two different ways to do it, right? There's not just one way to do it. There's like two or three.
Totally,
Sometimes
man.
there ends up being four ways of doing something the right way. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 100%. It's like, and yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of times where people have left comments on like my YouTube videos after I've explained something and said like, I do it this way, or no, that doesn't work anymore, and I'm not afraid of that because like, I don't, again, there, like you just said, there's so many different ways to do, your research process or upload or designs, all of that stuff. And there isn't a perfect way. There's never like, you can buy a course on print on demand or something. It's going to give you that hopefully general like framework, but it's not going to tell you like, oh, do this, this, and this, and you're going to get to tier 1000 or tier 100 or whatever it may be, tier 100,000. You really just have to experiment for yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. No, thank you for sharing that insight with us right there. So when it comes to print on demand, what's your favorite platform?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, merch by Amazon, I'm a big Amazon guy because that's kind of the background I came from, right? Like doing the whole wholesale, private label, retail arbitrage. And, Amazon, has obviously the biggest market share of any, e-commerce platform right now. I think I was looking at the stats on SimilarWeb last month, Amazon. So in December 2020, Amazon had 3.1 billion visits. And then you look at Redbubble, right? Redbubble is obviously like pretty big in the print on demand space, but I think they only had like 35 million, which is still really significant. But in terms of market share, like I think merch by Amazon is, one of the easiest places to get started. As long as you can get approved for an account, you already have so many buyers on the platform that like I've barely run any ad campaigns or anything like that. And so it was very easy for me to get onto merch by Amazon and grow my account. So merch by Amazon's my favorite, still making me the most money out of any of my others. But in terms of like what I'm most excited about, I think KDP is something I know you've been doing a ton on, but I haven't really fully delved into that. And then selling on Seller Central, since again, that's where my roots are. And that's something I've had listings up on there, but I want to get a little bit more serious about putting up some more stuff on Seller Central.
Yeah. Okay. No, so as far as like, how long did it take you to get approved for merch by Amazon?
Dude, I actually don't know the hard answer to that, but I applied and then kind of forgot about it. This is back in 2017, right? So I applied and forgot about it a little bit, and then I got an email. Maybe I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months later. Yeah. So it still took me a little bit of time, right? How fast was it for you? It's pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, it was like 3 months. I missed the auto approval process by a day. I was pissed off at myself. And this goes to anyone listening to this. If you see an opportunity and it's free, don't question it. Just do it. All right. And just do it. Yeah. If something like, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, give someone $100 and then you get $800 back for free. I'm talking about if a platform is offering free signups, you do it. Okay. Do not question it. Don't wait until the very last minute. If you're at work, go to the restroom, lock yourself in there, sign up for free on your damn phone. Okay. So that's very important. It took 3 months and I missed it. And I was like, God dang it. And then someone's gonna be like, this guy forgot. He signed in and he was approved after 2 to 3 months, and someone's trying to sign up right now at this very instant, Ben. Someone's trying to sign up and get approved, and it's like, dang, I gotta wait 3 months now. And they're probably pissed.
I know. Seriously. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, it's just about taking the opportunity too. Like I didn't even know really anything about merch by Amazon, but I was like, whatever. Like I need to find something to do. So I might as well send like, a request to sell on the platform. And, so take the opportunities where you have them, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I'm gonna ask you a few merch by Amazon questions. Like when it comes to what's your favorite process? Like the research, the design part? Are you there's another one. Are you outsourcing the design process? Are you designing yourself? What are you doing?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, it's changed, right? It's changed at the different stages. So right now just for some background, I'm at tier 4,000, right? So I'd say maybe till tier 100 or so, I was doing all of my designs myself, just using like Canva. And I'm not a designer. So I was just doing like really basic stuff in Canva, Photoshop, etc. Then as I scaled, I learned about things like Merch Informer. I got a little bit more serious, after those first few months. And that's where I went and actually found a designer. So I hired my designer on, I think it was Upwork. Yeah, it was on Upwork. And So first, I was just getting like maybe I did a few tests with him and a few other designers, and ended up settling on this one designer. And so what I normally like to do is kind of do my stuff in batches. So I said, hey, now I'm at tier 1000. I have 100 products live or 500 products live, whatever it is. And so I need to go make another 500. So I would then do the research in bulk. And then I would go to my designer and say, hey, let's work out like a bulk deal for 500 new designs. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, because I was doing that, I was able to get much better prices. I'm talking maybe it's been a while, but I want to say maybe like $2 per design, which is pretty low. Versus like when we were just doing one-offs, I think I was paying like $5 a design.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the way that I was able to scale as far as designs go. Now, I still every once in a while do a little bit of my own design work. Just if I have an idea, like, you have the tools like Canva, I think Merchant Former Designer, although I don't use that one as much. I'm mostly using like Canva and Photoshop.
Yeah.
But so I outsource my designs. But to answer your other questions, like I'm normally doing research in kind of like bulk. And then once I pass that stage, I'll put in like a Google Sheet everything that I need done, and maybe like the phrase I want, the colors I want on the design, all of that stuff. Any inspiration that I can give, like just kind of give some guidelines, and then I will work out a deal to get like designs done in bulk. And then from there I'll go through uploading, and I do all my own uploads right now on Merch by Amazon. Actually on all the platforms, I'm doing my own uploads. Although I think that is maybe you can outsource down the road. So
no, for sure. I think it's important for people to understand. Like it's you don't have like these simple designs, text-based designs, text-based phrases. They sell, they make money, right? You just have to understand, like, you can see that if you see the opportunity, you're doing the research and you're ahead of the game, and understanding, and you're kind of like know the process of the research, you're going to see like simple text-based designs crush it. Some of them are like, doing 3 or 5K BSR, and then they're selling like 20, 30, 40, 50 a day. And then next thing you know, you build out a niche, and you have a top selling text-based design in there too. People think you have to be like a really awesome artist to be successful on Merch by Amazon.
Well, yeah, RJ, I mean, seriously, it's like a lot of my best sellers still, I'd say almost maybe like 50% of the products I'm getting consistent sales on are ones I actually did myself in the early days that are really like basic. And I think what happens is once you get a designer and, some of these other things, a lot of times the pitfall can be that you overcomplicate things, and, maybe all you need is that simple design. And so I think that's an important lesson to learn too, is like a lot of times it's just the simple thing sells. So I don't know, that was kind of a big lesson for me too, which is why now I'm starting to do a little bit more of my design stuff. Although I want to get away from that to free up my time a little bit more.
Yeah, no, for sure. So what with someone starting print on demand right now, what type of advice can you give them?
Yeah, so I'd say like kind of on the mindset side, I think the one way that I like to look at print on demand, and how I started looking at it very early from this way, but is build once, sell twice. And that's the beauty of really anything online, but print on demand especially, is you create a design once. And the way that I look at it is each listing you have online is kind of like a piece of digital real estate, right? And so if I can put one listing on Amazon, then like 2 or 3 on Etsy, and so on, expand that with that one design, I am capturing more and more pieces of digital real estate, so to speak. And so that would be kind of on the mindset side. I'd say, think about it from there. And then that allows you to kind of relax into the business model a little bit more, and kind of see it as this long-term opportunity, but where if you're investing in designs and spending money, it's totally worth it. If you get one design and maybe it doesn't sell on Merch by Amazon, but you can sell it over on Etsy, Redbubble, Teespring, whatever it is, that is going to be huge for your business. So I'd say that on the mindset side. And then on the tactical side, I mean, really simple, but just get started, because again, like we were talking about earlier, it's really just about experimentation. So you need to just start and, max out your Merch by Amazon account, or throw up like 10 or 20 products or designs on some of these other platforms. And then you're going to figure out what the next step is. It's that whole idea of just-in-time learning, right? You don't need to know everything right when you get started. You just need to know kind of that first piece of information. And then from there, you figure out what the next piece is.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's just, when you put everything together and you start to learn as you like, it's important that you're like, your document, you're doing all your stuff, right? You like just documenting and paying attention to yourself, taking notes of yourself and watching you doing the whole process. It'll make things so much easier for yourself. And
Dude,
it can be confusing. It can
absolutely.
be overwhelming too, right? Sometimes you're like, oh dude, this is a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's crazy how that is. And don't complicate it. Like one day just do design, one day just do research, and so on and so forth. And then literally that's how the process starts. And then yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then
No,
you figure out how to change your processes or make them better, the next time. And it's also
yeah.
tough because like one of the things that happened for me in the early days is I started getting like sales, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go learn how to do this even better. And I started just consuming so many YouTube videos, which is great, except then I was overwhelmed with like all these different ways that I can take my business. I was like, oh, I need to do more trends. I need to do more
Yeah.
evergreen. I need to do this. And that was almost stopped me from doing anything. And
Yeah.
so, don't overwhelm yourself with trying to take on too much at once. Like just set a goal and just kind of stay consistent with it.
Yeah, because you can do that pretty much with almost any business, right? You see something, you watch it, you get excited about it, but then you lose your goal, like your sight, and you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be working on this, not this. Like work on this. This is working for me. This is not working for me. This is something new. Focus on this. So
right. And when you find that thing that's working, double down on it. I think you always talked about this in a lot of your early videos, but like when you find a niche that's actually starting to get sales, go and create like 10 or 20 more designs because that way you can kind of capitalize on that niche.
Dude, I have to remind myself that sometimes to this day, the very day I see it. And because that's another thing too, like when it comes to like your Merch by Amazon account or just any print on demand website, you can see like the sales, what niche it's coming in from. That's telling you, that's a sign, right? And literally, if you go in and research that niche and try to find new sayings and new things that you could put with your illustration or just design for, you can just dominate that whole niche. And next thing you know, you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 top sellers for that niche, and you just keep doubling down. Next thing you have 10,
Right.
So,
yeah. 100%.
All right. No. So, what's your goals for this year for 2021 or something you can share with someone, something you can share with someone to inspire them. Maybe someone watching this right now will get inspired by you because you have a certain goal that you want to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, it's, in a lot of ways, I feel it's getting started. Because I was working a lot on my full-time jobs while I was kind of building this over the last maybe year and a half, 2 years. And so for the first time ever, I've kind of freed up a lot of that time to focus on print on demand and kind of building this business. So like right now I'm just finished out maxing out all my slots on Merch by Amazon, but the way that I kind of look at print on demand is almost a stepping stone to, the next business venture. And so this year I really want to focus on like scaling my print on demand business. I probably want to double what I'm doing as far as designs go. But I guess in a sense for the monetary side, like I want to get to where I'm making a really consistent, like $2,000 or $3,000 a month from print on demand, which is totally achievable. Again, just reminding myself of the same things that we talked about, like just continue to double down on what's working and then test new things and expand to new platforms. And I already have a ton of designs. I just need to take them and go put them on all these other platforms. So those are a few of my goals, but really it's just staying consistent with it and just growing like this over this next year.
Yeah. Say, I think that, so being consistent with a lot of this stuff is that's the hard part, right? But if you're consistent with it, and it's a lot of this applies to like beginner stuff, like for real, this is like how we talked about double down in a niche and then keep going. And you see, you double down already, you made a sell, now you double down and then you triple down, and it's like a lot of repeating the beginner stuff, right? And a lot of people, as we grow from for us to get to 1,000 to 2,000 to 4,000 is literally repeat what we just did to get to 1,000. Because if we do that, then we get to 2,000, and it's that simple. 100%. I'm just like, what? And you confuse yourself when along the way, right? Because you start making a little bit more money, you start to grow, and that's perfectly fine. That's normal, right? It's part of the game. But yeah, man.
Exactly. And I think another thing, like too, is once you start making a little bit of money, then and I'm making another video right now. I'm talking about this, but like it can be easy, and for some people, it's the right move to take that money out and maybe pay bills or other things off. But if you want to accelerate your growth, reinvest some money in your business, right? And
Yeah.
especially in those early stages. So like I'm taking all the money that I'm making from print on demand, right now, and I'm going to be putting it back into getting designs. I want to get up to where I have, maybe 10,000, unique designs that I can then put on different products. And I think right now maybe I have around 2,000 or 3,000 unique designs.
Yeah.
So
no,
anyway.
I think also too, you're doing that too. Like I noticed that when you have one design that's doing really well, like let's say on Amazon, then you try to put it over on Redbubble, it doesn't do so well. And then the one design that's not doing so well on Amazon is selling really well, like on Redbubble. You know what I mean? I'm just like, dude, this is different audiences, right? Different people. So
seriously, I think I think you were talking to Jack Ingram. I watched your interview with him. I think about that, and he was saying, some designs are selling super well on Redbubble, and then they sell even better on Etsy or something like that. And I find that's true even with just different products. Like I just posted a bunch of phone cases on Merch by Amazon, and one of them was literally a design that I've had for a year on a T-shirt that's never sold. And I put it up yesterday on a phone case, and it sold literally, I kid you not, within 10 minutes of actually getting published live. And so sometimes it's literally just a matter of putting it on a different product, and that product looks better with the design. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting game.
Adding to that too, just most people are not doing what you just did right there because so you do that. Think about it. There's less competition, so it gives you a better opportunity for you to rank to that front page. And then the same thing with different marketplaces too. You putting your designs on different marketplaces as you start to grow your account, you're going to see that certain designs sell faster in the US compared to any other marketplace because just the competition, if I said that correctly, there's a competition, right? So it all depends, right? One design is going to sell faster in another marketplace because there's less competition.
Yeah, man, it's funny too to like see what people will pay on each of the platforms. Like, most of my shirts on Amazon are $16.95, but I have someone over on Etsy buying the exact same product for $19.95 or $21.95, or Redbubble, and it's way more expensive. But people they shop in different ways too, and that's one of the big takeaways from e-commerce is people will shop in different ways, and you might have the same product on 3 platforms all priced differently, but the buyers on Amazon are slightly different from buyers on Redbubble or Etsy. So that's another kind of lesson I've learned along the way.
It's pretty cool, huh? To kind of like learn about that and just see how they built their audience around someone totally different compared to Amazon, and then same thing with Etsy and all these other platforms. So it's an awesome learning process along the way as you start to develop and learn new things. So
100%.
Yeah, so we're coming up to an end right here. So where can people find you?
Yeah, so YouTube. I'm on YouTube. It's probably going to be challenging because my name is Ben Smith. So I think there's probably a ton of people showing up for that. But Ben Smith on YouTube, or on my blog, which is skipwithben.com. And I always get asked why Skip with Ben. My middle name is actually Skipwith. So other than having the most unoriginal name ever, Ben Smith, I do have a unique middle name. So skipwithben.com. I'm on both of those.
Were you skipping a lot when you were a kid or what?
I don't know. My parents never confirmed that, but maybe it's true.
Okay, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Now, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. All of Ben's information, I'll be putting that down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoy this, and that's it. Peace out.